Vitamin D is essential for your bones, with a dangerous twist. When levels exceed 4,000 IU daily, it triggers hypocalcemia, flooding your bloodstream with calcium that harms your body instead of helping it. I'm going to solve this problem by showing you exactly how to find your vitamin D sweet spot. You'll learn the specific symptoms of toxicity that many seniors mistake for normal aging, the appropriate dosage recommendations for those over 65, and simple steps to discuss this with your doctor. By the end, you'll know precisely how to get all the bone-strengthening benefits without risking the dangerous side effects. Before we get into it, leave a comment if you currently take vitamin D. Make sure you subscribe because tomorrow, I've saved something extra special for you. The vitamin D paradox. What if the vitamin you're taking for stronger bones is actually making them weaker? This might sound counterintuitive, but when it comes to vitamin D, it's a medical reality that many seniors face without even knowing it. For decades, we've heard about the importance of vitamin D. It helps our bodies absorb calcium from the food we eat, supports our immune system, and maintains strong, healthy bones. Without enough vitamin D, our bones become weak and brittle, potentially leading to osteoporosis and fractures. This is why doctors often recommend vitamin D supplements, especially for older adults who might not get enough sunlight or have diets lacking in this crucial nutrient. I remember visiting my neighbor Martha, an active 75-year-old who prided herself on her health routine. She showed me her impressive lineup of supplements, including 3 different products containing vitamin D. "I'm protecting my bones," she said confidently. 6 months later, she was diagnosed with kidney stones and elevated calcium levels. Her doctor identified the culprit: excessive vitamin D from overlapping supplements. This brings us to what I call the salt in soup principle. A little salt makes soup taste better, but pour in too much and you've ruined the dish. The same applies to vitamin D. The right amount supports bone health, but excessive amounts can actually harm the very bones you're trying to protect. This paradox creates a particularly dangerous situation for seniors who often take supplements without proper medical supervision. Many older adults begin taking vitamin D after reading about benefits online or hearing recommendations from friends. They start taking supplements without considering how much they are already getting from other sources, unaware of the potential consequences. The boundary between helpful and harmful is well established. The scientific consensus sets the tolerable upper intake level at 4,000 IU of vitamin D per day. This isn't a recommended amount, it's a ceiling. It represents the maximum daily intake that likely won't cause adverse health effects in most people. Consistently exceeding this amount increases your risk of vitamin D toxicity, or hypervitaminosis D. The consequences can be serious. Consider these cases from medical practice. A 72-year-old woman developed unusual fatigue, confusion, and constant thirst after taking both a daily multivitamin and a separate high-potency vitamin D supplement of 5,000 IU. Blood tests revealed dangerously high calcium levels in her bloodstream, hypocalcemia, directly caused by vitamin D excess. Similarly, a 68-year-old man taking multiple bone health supplements containing vitamin D developed kidney stones and bone pain with a total daily intake of approximately 6,000 IU. Studies reveal a complex relationship between high-dose vitamin D and bone health. Research suggests that very high doses don't offer additional benefits for preventing falls or fractures compared to standard recommended doses of 600 to 800 IU. Some studies indicate that excessive doses might actually increase the risk of falls in seniors. Older adults are especially vulnerable to vitamin D mismanagement for several reasons. First, seniors process vitamin D differently due to aging kidneys. As we age, our kidneys become less efficient at converting vitamin D into its active form and at clearing excess calcium from the bloodstream. A dose that's safe for a younger person could cause problems for someone in their 70s or 80s. Second, seniors often take multiple supplements containing vitamin D without realizing it. A typical multivitamin might have 800-1000 IU. A calcium supplement often contains 200 to 400 IU. A bone health formula might add another 1,000 to 2,000 IU. Before you know it, you're taking 3,000 IU daily without even counting prescription medications that might also contain vitamin D. This combination of physiological changes and multiple supplement sources creates potential for vitamin D overload. Unlike vitamin D from sunlight, which your body regulates naturally, there's no mechanism to stop absorption from supplements. Your body processes whatever amount you take, regardless of whether you need it. Vitamin D toxicity almost never comes from sun exposure or food sources. Your skin naturally limits vitamin D production from sunlight. The danger comes almost exclusively from supplements. When vitamin D levels climb too high, your intestines absorb more calcium than your body needs. This excess calcium doesn't strengthen your bones. Instead, it floods your bloodstream, triggering biological responses that can damage multiple organ systems, including your skeletal system. Now let's see exactly what happens in your body when vitamin D levels climb too high, and how this process can silently damage your bones over time without you feeling any immediate symptoms. How excess vitamin D hijacks your calcium. Imagine your bloodstream flooded with calcium that should be in your bones. This is exactly what happens when vitamin D levels rise too high in your body. To understand how this process works, we need to first look at what vitamin D normally does when it's functioning correctly. Under normal circumstances, vitamin D plays a crucial role in bone health. When you consume calcium through foods like dairy products, leafy greens, or fortified cereals, the calcium needs help to get absorbed through your intestinal wall and into your bloodstream. Vitamin D acts as a key that unlocks the door, allowing calcium to pass from your digestive system into your blood. Once calcium enters your bloodstream, it travels to your bones where it helps maintain their strength and structure. This process requires the right amount of vitamin D, not too little and not too much. Your body has sophisticated control mechanisms to ensure calcium goes where it needs to go, particularly to your skeleton where about 99% of your body's calcium should reside. But when you consume excessive amounts of vitamin D through supplements, this finely balanced system goes awry. Vitamin D at high levels forces your intestines to absorb much more calcium than your body needs. It's like a dam breaking open. Now calcium floods in uncontrollably, overwhelming your body's natural regulatory systems. The result is hypercalcemia, abnormally high calcium levels in your blood. Your bloodstream becomes oversaturated with calcium that should be safely stored in your bones. This creates a situation similar to having too much salt in your soup, beneficial nutrients becoming harmful when present in excess. When you eat calcium-rich foods, calcium normally passes through your intestinal wall at a controlled rate. With excessive vitamin D, this process accelerates dramatically. The calcium rushes into your bloodstream too quickly, and once levels rise too high, it can't properly deposit into your bones where it belongs. Your kidneys then face the enormous task of filtering this excess calcium from your blood. These sophisticated filtration systems must work overtime, trying to remove the surplus. The strain is considerable. Like a water filter processing mud, they quickly become clogged and damaged. This can lead to kidney stones as calcium crystallizes in these organs, potentially causing permanent damage. Particularly concerning for seniors whose kidney function naturally decreases with age. Even more troubling is what happens next. When calcium levels in your blood remain elevated for extended periods, your body actually begins pulling additional calcium from your bones. This creates a cruel irony. The supplement you're taking to strengthen your bones actually weakens them. This happens because your body's complex signaling systems detect high blood calcium levels and assume there must be too much calcium in your bones. It activates mechanisms to remove calcium from your skeleton to restore balance. Your body's calcium regulation system becomes confused by the high levels and makes incorrect decisions about calcium storage. What makes this process particularly dangerous is its timeline. Vitamin D toxicity and resulting hypocalcemia typically develop slowly over months or years of taking high doses. The damage accumulates gradually. Your bones become more fragile, your kidneys slowly deteriorate, and calcium deposits may form in soft tissues throughout your body, all without obvious immediate symptoms. By the time clear symptoms appear, significant damage may already have occurred. This slow progression makes it difficult for many people, especially seniors, to connect their symptoms with their supplement routine. Interestingly, it's almost impossible to develop vitamin D toxicity from sunlight exposure alone. Your skin has a built-in regulatory mechanism that stops producing vitamin D when levels get too high. Once enough vitamin D has been created, your body simply stops making more, regardless of additional sun exposure. Similarly, it's extremely vitamin D toxicity from food sources. Few foods naturally contain significant amounts of vitamin D, mainly fatty fish, egg yolks, and some mushrooms. Even fortified foods contain relatively small amounts. The danger comes almost exclusively from supplements, which contain vitamin D in highly concentrated forms that bypass your body's natural safeguards. Unlike sunlight or food sources, your body processes whatever amount you take, even if it's far more than needed. This is why proper dosing of vitamin D supplements is so critical, especially for seniors. Supplements can quickly push your vitamin D levels into the danger zone if taken incorrectly or in excessive amounts. But how do you know if you're already taking too much? Let's look at the warning signs your body might be giving you that could indicate your vitamin D levels have climbed too high. Warning signs your body is sending. The symptoms of vitamin D toxicity often masquerade as normal aging. This makes it particularly challenging for seniors to recognize when their supplements might be causing harm rather than helping. The warning signs develop gradually, which means you might not connect them to the vitamins you're taking. Early signs of vitamin D toxicity are subtle and easily dismissed. When they first appear, most people, especially older adults, attribute them to other causes. These initial symptoms mimic common conditions that many seniors already experience, creating a perfect disguise that allows the problem to worsen over time. What makes this situation even more complicated is how these symptoms progress. They typically start mild and become increasingly severe if the excess vitamin D intake continues. This progression happens slowly enough that you might adjust to the discomfort, considering it your new normal rather than recognizing it as a warning sign. Early warning signs to watch for unusual fatigue that doesn't improve with rest, persistent exhaustion disproportionate to your activity level, digestive issues, stubborn constipation, unexplained nausea, decreased appetite, or increased thirst and frequent urination, as kidneys work overtime to filter excess calcium. These early symptoms blend seamlessly into the background of normal aging. When visiting your doctor, you might not mention them because they seem unremarkable or unrelated to each other. Slight fatigue, occasional digestive discomfort, and increased thirst don't immediately suggest a vitamin issue, keeping the pattern hidden. Advanced symptoms of vitamin D toxicity mental confusion, ranging from mild forgetfulness to severe disorientation. Kidney stones, causing sudden, severe pain in your back or side. A bone pain, a deeper, persistent ache unlike typical arthritis pain. Irregular heartbeat, as excess calcium interferes with normal heart function. Martha's story illustrates how easily these symptoms can be misinterpreted. At 76, she began taking multiple supplements containing vitamin D after reading about its benefits for bone health. Over 6 months, she developed increasing fatigue, constipation, and mild confusion. Her family noticed memory issues but assumed it was age-related cognitive decline. When Martha experienced back pain, she blamed her long-standing arthritis. Only after hospitalization with kidney stones did blood tests reveal severely elevated calcium levels and vitamin D toxicity. Her doctor discovered she was taking nearly 5,000 IU of vitamin D daily through various supplements. By the time of correct diagnosis, Martha had developed kidney damage that earlier intervention could have prevented. The shock of learning that her well-intentioned supplement routine had caused such harm left Martha devastated. What she thought was supporting her health had actually been damaging it for months without her knowledge. You might wonder if your current supplement routine could be causing similar issues without obvious symptoms. This concern is valid, especially if you're taking multiple supplements or high-dose vitamin D. Toxicity develops gradually, so harmful effects might be accumulating even without noticeable symptoms. You might be taking too much vitamin D. The appropriate response is straightforward. Stop taking all vitamin D supplements immediately and contact your doctor for proper evaluation. Don't wait for severe symptoms to develop. Early intervention is crucial. Your doctor will likely order a blood test measuring both vitamin D and calcium levels, the key indicators of toxicity. This blood test will measure 25-hydroxyvitamin D, the storage form of vitamin D in your body. Levels above 100 nanograms per milliliter are generally considered excessive, with levels above 150 nanograms per milliliter often associated with toxicity. Your doctor will also check your blood calcium levels to determine if hypocalcemia is present, confirming the diagnosis and indicating the severity. Based on these results, your doctor can provide appropriate treatment and help determine the right amount of vitamin D for your specific needs. Remember that the goal isn't to eliminate vitamin D entirely. It's finding the correct balance that supports your health without risking toxicity. Now that you recognize the warning signs, let's look at what might be in your medicine cabinet that could be putting you at risk without you even realizing it. Hidden sources in your medicine cabinet. The vitamin D in your multivitamin might just be the tip of the supplement iceberg. The real danger for many seniors lies not in any single supplement, but in the cumulative effect of multiple products that contain this vitamin. This hidden accumulation can push your daily intake well beyond safe levels without you ever realizing it. Vitamin D appears in far more products than most people realize. Supplement manufacturers routinely include it in a wide array of products specifically marketed to older adults. Many seniors take multiple supplements daily, often without tracking the combined amounts of ingredients they contain. Now, let's uncover where these hidden sources lurk in your medicine cabinet. Your multivitamin typically contains approximately 1,000 IU of vitamin D, which already exceeds the standard recommended daily amount for seniors. This foundation dose is merely the beginning. Calcium supplements almost always contain vitamin D because the two nutrients work together. Calcium needs vitamin D for proper absorption. A standard calcium supplement might add another 400 IU to your daily intake. This combination makes nutritional sense but creates potential concerns when added to other sources. Bone health formulas contribute significantly higher doses, typically 1,000 IU or more per serving. Their marketing emphasizes stronger bones, making them particularly appealing to seniors concerned about fractures and osteoporosis. Immune support supplements frequently contain vitamin D, following research about its immune benefits. These products generally provide 500 to 2,000 IU per serving. During cold and flu season, many seniors add these supplements without considering how they interact with existing vitamins. Some prescription medications also contain vitamin D. Certain medications, particularly those related to bone health or calcium metabolism, include vitamin D as an active ingredient. This creates another source that contributes to potential toxicity, especially because prescription medications aren't typically considered supplements that need tracking. To identify vitamin D in your products, check labels for vitamin D, vitamin D3, cholecalciferol, vitamin D2, ogocalciferol, or sometimes calcitriol in prescription medications. The amount typically appears in international units, IU, or micrograms mcg, where 40 IU equals 1 microgram. To audit your supplement routine, gather all your supplements, both prescription and over-the-counter. Read each label to identify vitamin D content, noting amounts in IU or mcg. Add these numbers and compare to the recommended daily intake for seniors, 600 to 800 IU for adults over 65. Ensure your total stays well below the upper limit of 4,000 IU unless specifically directed by your healthcare provider. If your multivitamin already contains the recommended 600 to 800 IU, you likely don't need additional vitamin D supplements unless your doctor has identified a specific deficiency. Adding more sources increases your risk without providing additional benefits. This supplement cabinet audit might seem tedious, but it's crucial for protecting your bone health. The few minutes spent checking labels could prevent months or years of unnecessary health problems caused by vitamin D excess. Speaking of doctors, let's discuss why your healthcare provider might not have warned you about this risk. The answer reveals important gaps in our medical system that every senior should understand to protect their health. The medical communication gap. Why hasn't your doctor warned you about the dangers of too much vitamin D? This question reveals an important gap in our medical system that affects millions of seniors taking supplements. The reality of modern healthcare is that doctor appointments are often brief and focused. Most medical visits last between 15 and 20 minutes, during which your doctor must address immediate symptoms, review your history, perform examinations, and discuss treatment plans. It's like trying to capture your entire health story in a quick snapshot rather than the full-length documentary it deserves. This constraint forces physicians to prioritize urgent concerns over reviewing your supplement regimen, especially without obvious toxicity symptoms. Many doctors simply don't ask detailed questions about your supplement intake during routine visits. If you mention taking a multivitamin, they might acknowledge this with a nod without exploring what nutrients it contains or what other supplements you take. This creates a blind spot in your care. As one 75-year-old patient recounted, "I've been taking 5,000 IU of vitamin D daily for years. When I finally mentioned it to my doctor, she was shocked. No one had ever asked me about my supplements before, even though I see specialists regularly." Without specific symptoms pointing to vitamin D toxicity, Your doctor has little reason to investigate whether your supplements might be causing harm. The early signs of excess are vague enough to be attributed to other causes, and many doctors aren't primed to consider supplements as potential culprits. The medical system's approach to vitamin D has undergone a significant shift in recent decades. Historically, the primary concern was preventing deficiency, which causes rickets in children and contributes to osteomalacia and osteoporosis in adults. This focus created a medical culture where getting enough vitamin D became the priority. Medical education and guidelines emphasized identifying and treating low levels, with less attention to the dangers of excess. This asymmetrical focus persists in modern medicine. Doctors receive extensive training about deficiency conditions but comparatively less education about supplement-induced toxicity. Medical textbooks might dedicate several pages to vitamin D deficiency while mentioning toxicity only briefly. This educational imbalance means physicians are more attuned to looking for signs of too little rather than too much vitamin D. Laboratory testing practices reflect this same pattern. Vitamin D blood tests aren't part of standard blood work during regular checkups. Your doctor must specifically order this test, which typically happens only if they suspect a deficiency or are monitoring your response to prescribed supplementation. Without routine testing, your levels might climb well above the recommended range without detection. When tests are ordered, they're usually interpreted with more concern for low values than high ones. A borderline low result might prompt immediate recommendations for supplementation, while a high result might receive less attention or be dismissed as not clinically significant. The supplement industry contributes to this communication gap through marketing that emphasizes benefits while downplaying risks. Unlike prescription medications, dietary supplements face limited regulation. The FDA doesn't evaluate supplements for safety or efficacy before they reach the market, allowing broad claims about benefits that shape both consumer and healthcare provider perceptions. Medical education might not emphasize nutritional supplement risks as much as prescription medication risks. This educational gap can leave physicians less prepared to evaluate the nuanced risks of supplements like vitamin D with their patients. The medical literature itself has focused more extensively on deficiency than excess, creating an imbalance in the evidence base that informs clinical practice. This combination of factors creates an environment where vitamin D toxicity can develop undetected. The communication gap means neither doctor nor patient initiates crucial conversations about supplement safety and proper dosing. Bridging this gap requires effort from both patients and healthcare providers. As a patient, proactively bring your complete list of supplements to appointments. Specifically ask about appropriate dosing, and request vitamin D testing if you've been supplementing regularly. Don't assume your doctor has automatically considered your supplement regimen. For doctors, increased awareness about high-dose supplementation among seniors and the subtle symptoms of toxicity can improve detection and prevention. Making supplement review a standard part of geriatric care would help identify potential issues before they cause harm. Now that you understand the risks and why they might not have been addressed in your medical appointments, let's look at the practical steps to protect your bone health while getting the vitamin D you need. Your vitamin D safety plan. Most seniors need some vitamin D, but finding your personal sweet spot is critical. The ideal amount supports bone health and immune function without risking the dangerous side effects we've discussed. Let's create your personalized vitamin D safety plan with specific steps you can implement immediately. For most adults over 65, the recommended daily intake of vitamin D is between 600 and 800 IU. This amount generally maintains bone health and supports immune function without risking toxicity. This recommendation comes from extensive research showing that this range provides benefits while staying well below potentially harmful levels. Consider this recommendation your starting point, not a universal prescription. Your personal needs differ based on several factors: sun exposure, skin tone, weight, geographic location, and existing health conditions. Someone in Alaska naturally needs more supplemental vitamin D than someone in Florida who regularly spends time outdoors. Balancing your vitamin D intake requires careful consideration of both deficiency and excess risks. Too little leads to weakened bones, increased fracture risk, and potentially compromised immune function. Too much can paradoxically damage the bones you're trying to protect while creating additional health complications. Let's break down your vitamin D safety plan into clear steps. 1. Conduct a supplement audit. Gather every supplement you take: multivitamins, calcium products, bone formulas, and immune boosters. Think of yourself as a detective investigating your medicine cabinet. 2. Calculate your total intake. Read each label, noting the exact amount of vitamin D, listed as cholecalciferol D3 or ergocalciferol D2. Add these amounts together for your total daily intake. 3. Identify hidden sources. Pay special attention to combination products. Many seniors discover they're taking 2,000 IU or more daily when accounting for all sources. Bone supplements, 1,000 IU, multivitamins, 800 IU, calcium supplements, 400 IU. 4. Compare to recommendations. Once you know your current intake, compare it to the recommended 600 to 800 IU for seniors. If you're taking significantly more, especially approaching the 4,000 IU upper limit, it's time for step 5. 5. Consult your healthcare provider. Never stop prescribed supplements without medical guidance. Schedule an appointment to review your regimen. While supplements are often necessary, incorporating natural vitamin D sources can reduce your reliance on pills. Fatty fish like salmon provides about 450 IU per 3-ounce serving. Egg yolks contain smaller amounts, 40 IU each. Fortified foods like milk, 120 IU per cup, orange juice, and many breakfast cereals also contribute. Sunlight remains the body's natural way to produce vitamin D, though this becomes less efficient with age. Our skin's ability to convert sunlight to vitamin D decreases by up to 75% between ages 20 and 70. Brief sun exposure can help. 10 to 15 minutes of midday sun several times weekly contributes to vitamin D levels without significantly increasing skin cancer risk. Always discuss sun exposure with your doctor, especially with a history of skin cancer. Vitamin D testing measures 25-hydroxyvitamin D in your blood, with optimal levels generally between 20 to 50 nanograms per milliliter. Levels above 100 nanograms per milliliter suggest excess that could lead to toxicity, while levels below 20 nanograms per milliliter indicate deficiency. Implementing changes safely requires patience and medical supervision. Never make dramatic changes to your supplement routine without consulting your doctor, especially if you've been taking high doses for an extended period. The simple steps protecting you from vitamin D toxicity are straightforward. Start with 600 to 800 IU daily as your baseline. Never exceed 4,000 IU without specific medical supervision and regular testing. Check all supplement labels to calculate your total intake. Discuss your vitamin D plan with your doctor before making significant changes. Remember that lower, consistent doses are generally safer and more effective than intermittent high doses. Your bone health directly impacts your independence, mobility, and quality of life as you age. Taking control of your vitamin D intake represents one of the simplest yet powerful steps to protect your future. Taking control of your vitamin D intake is one of the simplest yet most powerful steps to protect your bone health as you age. The right amount supports your entire body while excess silently damages it. Remember that balance makes all the difference. Vitamin D works like the foundation of a house, essential for strength but potentially damaging if improperly measured. Start your vitamin D audit today by checking your supplements and consulting your doctor. Share this knowledge with a friend who might benefit. Your thoughtful choices today build the framework for an active tomorrow. Will you nourish your inner structure for the vibrant future you deserve?